So, new first PlayStation Portable 3, PlayStation 6 handheld gameplay test, Halo Remake coming to PlayStation 5, and great news for a major PlayStation 5 launch. Those are the stories we're going to cover today, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. First, yes or no, have you played Halo 1 or not? We're going to be talking about the remake coming to PlayStation 5 today, but before then, since most of you are PlayStation fans here, I'm curious how many of you have actually played Halo 1. So comment below yes or no if you've played Halo 1 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, Halo 1 remake coming to PlayStation 5. Reading from Push Square, Halo will make its PlayStation 5 debut with a massively modernized remake of the original game, Combat Evolved. That's according to the Halo Leaks account on X or Twitter, which has accurately outed information about the franchise in the past. Renamed developer Halo Studios has promised updates on the future of the franchise at the Halo World Championship later this month, where it's expected to show what it's been working on. Rumors of a Combat Evolved remake have been swirling for quite some time, with the PlayStation 5 expected to be a target platform now that Microsoft has gone multi-platform. Halo Leaks says Sony's platform is planned for the remake, but is unsure if this will be disclosed during the aforementioned event. So, we've been hearing about a Halo remake for some time now, and that it's going to launch in fall of 2026. That's a pretty solid drop in 2026. And that year seemed to be set for a new Xbox to launch with Forza, Halo, Fable, Gears. That's a prime year to launch a new console. Of course, with more recent reports, more concrete reports, we're hearing Xbox is launching their new console in 2027, not 2026. So I wonder if Halo 7 will be the launch title for the next Xbox in 2027. Regardless, Halo Remake is looking like it's going to be at this event, but the leaker is not sure if the PlayStation 5 announcement will be there. I think for Xbox's brand's sake, following recent news with Game Pass, they should just focus on the Xbox community and then announce the PlayStation 5 release later on. Let's see what happens, and if you enjoyed the video so far, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community on our way to 150,000 subscribers. Now, diving into the second story of the video, the great news for a major PlayStation 5 launch. Reading from Video Game Chronicle, the first weekend of sales for Ghost of Yotei made it the biggest first-party release for a PlayStation game in Europe since Spider-Man 2. That's according to GSD European chart data, as reported by the Game Business, which found that Ghost of Yotei entered the chart at number 2 in terms of both unit sales and revenue, behind EA Sports FC 26 in both respects. According to GSD's European chart, which counts both physical and digital sales across games across 24 countries, including the UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and Australia, Ghost of Yotei's sales are roughly in line with those of its predecessor, Ghost of Tsushima. GSD says Ghost of Yotei is Sony's best-selling first-party release since Spider-Man 2, which was the fastest-selling PlayStation Studios game in history when it released in 2023, selling more than 2.5 million copies globally in its first 24 hours. So, obviously, this is great news to hear for Ghost of Yotei, especially since this is a new character on a smaller install base with the PlayStation 5 with a higher price compared to Tsushima when it launched. It making these numbers shows that people are not affected as much by the negative campaigns we saw online against the game. As for the statement about it being the best-selling first-party release since Spider-Man 2, well, yeah, that makes sense. What has first-party launched since Spider-Man 2? I love Astrobot, but that's not a juggernaut title like Spider-Man or God of War. But you guys let me know if you bought Ghost of Yotei or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And now diving into the final story of the video, first PlayStation Portable 3 gameplay versus PlayStation 5. So, not too long ago, Sony confirmed the existence of low power mode for PlayStation 5 and that it would be coming with the last major update we got for the PlayStation 5, with some games supporting the feature at launch or when they were ready, like Demon's Souls and Ghost of Yotei. This mode, according to known leaker Moore's Law is Dead, is what Sony is going to use for the PlayStation Portable 3. This is the feature that Sony is going to use as a baseline to play and move these games over from PlayStation 5 to be runnable or playable on this new upcoming handheld, according to reports. This mode reduces the performance levels of PlayStation 5 titles to run at like something like 1080p 30 fps, for example, instead of upscaled 4K at 60 fps or 4K at 60 fps. So now we have our first patched title that supports this feature, that any one of you can go ahead, if you wanted to right now, if you have the game, go ahead and test it right now. And that title, of course, is Demon's Souls, which has been patched to support this low power mode. I got to play a bit with it and test it out on the Portal, on my phone, obviously via streaming, and on the PlayStation 5 itself. I will say, on my phone and on the Portal, visually, you can't really tell that much of a difference, but you can in performance. Since the Portal and obviously your phone is a streaming device to the PlayStation 5, it's not actually playing those games on device, it's being streamed over. Running a game at 30 FPS will increase that latency, which you can feel when playing this game on low power mode. But this gives us a glimpse of what PlayStation 5 games could look like visually on this next generation handheld, and honestly, it looks great. Of course, I'll let Digital Foundry zoom in 3, 8, 9, 50 times to tell us the difference and the shadows and the texture on the floor versus the wall and on his metal, and you know, the whole nine. I'll let them do that. But as a normal player, it looks good on a smaller screen. On the PlayStation Portal screen, it looks good. Of course, to also add, when playing on the PSP3 or the next generation handheld, you're not going to be streaming any of these games from your PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 6, but rather you're going to be playing these games on the device itself. So the latency issue won't be a big thing there, because you're just going to have to deal with it running at 30 FPS instead of, you know, having to deal with 30 FPS and the latency from streaming a game over. Beyond that, with the next generation of PSSR, there's also the potential possibility that performance could be boosted via upscaling on this new handheld. Now, playing in this mode on PlayStation 5, you can obviously tell the difference on your TV, or at least I could, even sitting further away. When playing, some might not care as much because you're focused on the action and what's going on, but if you're looking at it, you can clearly tell when you jump before and go back, or look at a video of the recording in 4K versus the new 1080p. It's not as sharp, and it doesn't look as good as the normal PlayStation 5 modes do, which obviously makes sense. That's the whole purpose of this mode. Again, this is all exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing this list grow, because this is the list of games that are probably going to be supported on this next generation handheld. So we're going to see this list hopefully build over the next 2 years or however long before this next handheld releases. But you guys let me know if you're excited for the next generation handheld or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps. To subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with "The weekend is here." I'm excited for the weekend. Another weekend. Get to play some more Ghost of Yote and Battlefield 6. It's just been kind of heavenly going back and forth between those. But if you're excited for the weekend like I am, destroy the comment section with "The weekend is here." And I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.